5 to shoot. Jokic will fall away from the baseline. Got it!
What is going on, guys? It's your boy Shady Mike Gaming. I hope everyone enjoyed their Thanksgiving holiday. Today we're going to be talking about the NBA MVP. That's right, we're going to be talking about Nikola Jokic and the Sombor Shuffle. If you don't know what that is, stay tuned. This is going to be an awesome signature shot. I would say this video is an example of when 2K does things right and they get their mocap game on point. There's not a lot of stuff that we actually have to do. So we're going to go ahead and break down Jokic and take a look at his game. This is going to be a full signature edit. If you do like this type of content, please like the video and subscribe for more just like this. All right, so when we take a look at Jokic and we take a look at Jokic's base, we're going to be looking for very few details. It's very simple. One of the easiest parts of his game. Jokic, when he goes to shoot, he's going to bring his knees together, and he's always got that right foot ever so slightly in front of the left, so it really affects the orientation of his body. That's the number one thing that we're going to be looking for from his shot, just that orientation of the body, that slight tilt to the left. When Jokic does go to shoot, you'll notice there is little to no vertical on the base. It's usually just a short hop forward, and we do a really good job of capturing this. Now, as we get into Jokic's release, there's a couple of checkpoints that we want to hit. Number one, we want to talk a little bit about the set point for Jokic's shot. He's got a high release, pretty much unblockable. He's going to bring that ball up over the top of his head, and with his height standing 6'11", 7 feet tall, at this release point, it's going to be close to impossible to block. When you see Jokic shoot, whether it's one of his normal jump shots or one of his Sombor shuffles that we're going to take a look at a little bit later in the video, you'll notice that the ball comes up really towards the center point of the ball is going to be basically matched up with the center point of his head. Sometimes it goes back a little bit further, sometimes not as much, but you know, that's a nice average or midpoint. And one thing you're going to see is that elbow, that shooting elbow of his, is going to be pointing upwards. And one thing that you're going to notice, and this is what I was really looking for, is when he shoots, his offhand, if the camera will stop fighting with me here, sorry about that. Oh, there we go. His offhand on the shot is going to straighten out and flatten out. But one thing you'll notice is both his offhand and his shooting hand are going to be towards the right side of his body. Once his shot finishes, that was a little bit of a difficult detail to capture, with his release point being high and his arms being kind of towards the right side of his body, but we were able to capture it. One thing too that we wanted to make sure we captured on the shot was when Jokic does shoot, he does have full extension on that shooting arm. Some of the default release that 2K gave us, he wasn't extending his arm fully. He's got a lot of extension on that shot. That's what gives it that high arcing, that high arc that he has on, you know, his threes and his mid-range. So we just want to make sure that that shooting arm is all the way extended, not a lot of vertical on the shot, but still gives us a lot of arc on the shot. So that's a pretty good looking release. All right, so as we take a look at Nikola Jokic's jump shot in the menu, we go with the Luka Doncic base. Basically, as soon as they added Luka's mocap base, I knew I was going to use it for Jokic. It's as close as you're going to get to Jokic's shot. It looks honestly a better mocap for Jokic than it is for Luka, but we're not going to get into that right now. But for the first release, we're going to go with the Amateur 1. What that does is that helps give us some smoothness in the shot, but it also gives us that flattened out offhand blended to 80 with the John Wall release. That's going to bring that shot over our head and give us that high release point. I'm gonna go very slow. As you can see, he's you know, still got a pretty normal and fluid release, and with his height, you don't really have to worry about it getting blocked, but that was the most natural looking to me. As we go over to the free throw and all of the moving jumpers, I was torn between 3 free throws here. Free throw 12, Vince Carter and Luka Doncic. The reason I went with free throw 12 is because he holds his hands the highest, and that offhand flattens out for us the same way that he does for his jump shot. So I like free throw 12. He's, you know, stands upright and has a high release over his head. Free throw 12 is fantastic, but those others are definitely options as well.
So Nikola Jokic at the free throw line. Crowd chanting MVP. Listen to it.
Never heard that in this building.
We did not touch his pull-up and we did not touch his spin jumper, not big parts of his game, but this is where we're going to go ahead and get into his hop jumper, step back, turnaround, whatever you want to call it. It's called the Sombor Shuffle. Now, I did some research on this. Apparently, that's his hometown. This is Nikola Jokic's hometown, so that's what they named the jumper off of. This is a very odd move that Jokic does, where he shifts the weight of his body to one side and he brings the ball up the right side of his face. Now, apparently, the way he developed this shot was he was actually recovering from an injury, but still wanted to, you know, be able to shoot and practice. And this is, you know, as he was practicing kind of shooting off of one leg, he realized that this was a great way to create space. This is, I mean, if you ask me, this is pretty iconic. It's a really awesome looking shot. And obviously this is something that would have been impossible for us to recreate or replicate without 2K's mocap system, obviously. Now, the cool thing about the Sombor Shuffle is it's kind of a step back, it's kind of a fadeaway, it's kind of a turnaround. This encompasses every aspect of Jokic's mid-range game. So he can do it as a step back off of the dribble. He can do it from a standstill. This is incorporated completely into the game. So you can hold the right trigger and the right stick and it will trigger all of these animations as opposed to the animations that would normally be triggered from your basic pull-up. So again, shout out to 2K. This makes our shot much easier. This perfectly captures Jokic's mid-range game and some of the quirky shots that he does. It's a very deep package. And we'll kind of circle back to that once we get to his fadeaways. So we want to go over to his layups and dunks. Now, for the layups, you can do default big or you can do dominant big. Realistically, the dominant big was more accurate for what he does under the basket, but when the rare occasion comes that Jokic does have a driving layup, the default big package was the most accurate. Jokic, you know, he's athletic enough. I wouldn't say he's super athletic, but he can throw down, and he has a bunch of different dunks from under the basket. Most of the time he's going to be dunking with two hands off of 1 foot. Now and again he will hang on the rim. I saw him on very few occasions do some one-handed dunks. I did see him do a back scratcher, so that gave him a little bit more of an athletic option there. And we were also able to find him doing a reverse. We watched, it was a two-handed reverse. We on stream, shout out to the stream gang, by the way. We on stream watched 3 years of dunks from Jokic, so this was about as accurate as we can get. He doesn't do a lot of crazy dunks, but over the past 3 years, these are the ones that we had seen him do. Now, when we get to the post fade, that's kind of what I was saying. The cool thing about the Sombor shuffle, or whatever it's called, is it kind of applies to every aspect of the game. It's also a fadeaway as much as it is a step back. So a lot of times when you see Jokic do his fade to the left, it is more of a standard fadeaway. But when you see him do the fade to the right side, Jokic again is going to be doing that Sombor shuffle where he shifts all his weight to the right and brings that ball up the right side of his face. We have the package there. Shout out to 2K for incorporating that in for us. Now, as we go to the hook shot, plenty of footage from Jokic doing hooks. The thing I noticed about his hook shot is in practice he has a very solid form. Like, it looked more like a sky hook, like a much more structured hook shot, but in the actual game he kind of just flings the ball up there. So you know, this is why we go with basic. He really just flings it, and that was the perfect form that we were seeing from him in game. So I opted for the basic package, but you could also go you know, with the sky hook, because you know we had him doing a lot of sky hooks in practice, but not necessarily translating much into the game. I actually did change his post hop shot as well to pro. What it does is it makes him do a lot more of those one-footed jumpers out of the post when you do a hop shot. So I thought that a lot of the one-footed jumpers looked a little bit like the Sombor shuffle, so that's why I went with pro here for the post hop shot, just to kind of bring that in line with everything else that we had seen from Jokic. Now, we did not touch his handles. You know, Jokic will every now and again do like a behind the back or something like that, but I didn't feel the need to change like his size up. That's not really something that we saw from Jokic. So we didn't do anything in terms of handles, and we usually won't when it comes to big men, unless it's, you know, some of the more athletic bigs like Anthony Davis and Joel Embiid, you know, maybe even like Bam Adebayo, guys like that who sometimes can be on the perimeter. So what we're gonna do now, before we end the video, again, the big men don't have as much to go in depth here for. I do know that I'm gonna have some people that are still on 2K21 and 2K20 and stuff like that. Unfortunately, you know, the Luka Doncic base and the Nikola Jokic hop jumper and all that are not in those games. So when it comes to the post fades and the Sombor shuffle, you are out of luck. But I did want to give an alternate jump shot for those of you that may still be playing those games, that at least the very least want the base jumper. So for your 2K20, my 2K21 guys and my 2K20 guys, what you want to do is you want to drop the blend here to 65, and then you want to change the base to 106, and I thought this did just as good a job capturing a lot of the things we were looking for. This might even be a little bit more athletic of a base, of a release for Jokic, which is okay because sometimes it gets more vertical than not, but it's just not super common. But you know, if I didn't have the Jokic base available to, or excuse me, the Doncic base available to me, this is the one I would have used. The reason I didn't use it as my main base was because sometimes I wasn't a huge fan of like the way his arms drop. I know it's a very weird detail, but it was what it was. It was just something that stood out to me. But this is still a great looking shot for those of you that are playing 2K21 and things of that nature. All right, guys, and that's going to do it for Nikola Jokic. Again, the big men, they're easy. We don't do them a lot because there's not as much to cover, but it's very easy to iron down the important details. I want to say thank you so much for all the support on the channel. Stay tuned for our next signature shot. We're going to be streaming that, and it might come as a little bit of a surprise in terms of who we're doing, but it's okay. I think you guys are going to be pretty hype about it. So just kind of stay tuned for some of the stuff that we're talking about coming up. You know, I don't want to go too much into it, but it's a little bit of a surprise. Also, want to say thank you so much for all the support on the channel. I forgot to say at the beginning of the video, but we just hit 15,000 subscribers. That's an incredible milestone. Thank you all so much for the support. Again, if you like this content, please like the video and subscribe for more. But other than that, it is your boy Shady Mike Gaming. I'm signing out. Peace. Threes.